Hi, welcome back to Books and Bullshit.
Just as a reminder, this podcast does contain spoilers. So we're going to be talking about The Inmate by Frida McFadden.
Okay, so for me, likability, I gave it a 5 out of 5 for the likability of the main characters.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I rated it half a point less, mainly because as I was reading it, I knew you were supposed to think Shane was, like, a really good manipulator, but he just gave off narcissistic vibes from the beginning that, like, the whole time I was reading it, I was like...
narcissist sexy, man.
I was like, this motherfucker did it. I know he did it. There was something wrong about this dude. Because what dude is so apologetic, but like, no, it's not your fault I'm in prison, because if I was in prison for 11 years and I knew I was innocent, the way I would be pissed at that motherfucker who put me in jail. So
Okay.
it just...
Okay, I felt like it held the plot really, really well. So, like, a 5 out of 5.
I did, like, holding a plot a 5 out of 5 as well.
There's no smut. It's not a smut book. It's not the genre for smut. So, just a 0 out of 5. No dirties.
I gave it, no dirties. I gave it a 0 out of 5, but I also didn't calculate in my smuttiness rating for my overall rating because this book inherently wasn't meant to be smutty, so I felt like it wasn't fair to keep that rating for it.
Now, I gave it an overall 5 out of 5. It was so good. I
gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
I loved it.
It was really good. Because I did think it had good details. It kept me engaged the whole time. Like I said, there was just, I don't know, maybe if I was just getting bad vibes from him. The whole time I knew that the plot twist was going to be that he was truly the one who did it.
Okay,
and
listen, I didn't doubt that he was probably the one who did it. I mean, that's not true. You should have seen it. I was sitting here, I was like, I think it might have been Tim. But then I was sitting here and I was like, but Shane sounds so sexy, so, like, I don't want him to do it.
I mean, there was a point where I was like, I think Tim was in on it, like, when she found that dead body in his basement. But, like, at no point in time did I think Shane was innocent.
Oh, no, right around the time that they found the body in his basement, part of my brain was like, what if she did it? Like, what if she's got, like, a split personality, and the real reason her parents didn't want her to come back or be around or anything, what if she did it? What if she, like, freaks the fuck out sometimes? Like, she has a shot of liquor with dinner, and then she just goes a little murdery, and they were drinking that night, and so, like, what if she got drunk and then just started, like, murdering people, and then, like, she was like, you know, when she's getting choked off the necklace, maybe that was self-defense. She had just come to right in that moment.
I will say, I
heard a noise. Yeah, your personality snapping back into place.
I really did like how it skipped between present day and back to 11 years, though.
Because I loved it.
That felt so good. I loved that. And the one that did get me was Margie, because at first I really did think she was a sweet little innocent woman.
She was great.
I was like, oh, she sounds so sweet. No, that bitch is crazy.
I was not expecting that. You know, it's like, because you go into the beginning of the book and, like, you know, she's like, I got a job at a prison where my ex-boyfriend is. I also haven't touched a man in, like, 10 years some reason.
Can I just say, though, the main, because this is also why I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, is because in my mind, I was reading this as if I'm the main character, because that's how I read books, is how would I handle this if I was the main character? And all I could think the whole time was, this book wouldn't have ever happened if I was the main character, because I would be applying to all those jobs. I would have read my parents' will saying that they wanted me to sell that house and not come back. I would be denied every single job but the prison where the guy who tried to murder me is at.
I'd be sus as fuck.
The way I'd be looking at the universe and being like, you just don't want me to... Okay, I get it. The way I would have just sold that fucking house and moved, because they lived in Queens. You can't... Queens is huge. The amount of schools that are in Queens, the way I would just sell my apartment that we currently live in.
How is that kid getting bullied for being a bastard while living in New York, like Queens, and then moves to, like, a tiny-ass town and nobody's gonna be like, oh, look at the daddyless motherfucker, where'd your dad go? Is he back with the cigarettes yet? You know, I'm just saying.
So, like, the way I would have just sold my parents' house and just moved to a different school district within Queens to get him into a new school The way that
Or
book
just
never
move,
would have happened.
I don't know, sell your parents' house and move anywhere else in the United States of America because it's a giant country. Like,
also, they found her because of that one Facebook photo that her work did. How are they gonna find you again if you move states?
Right?
Like,
also, how your parents gonna sit here and think you sent the right guy to prison, but that he probably wasn't working alone or whatever was going on? Like, clearly her parents suspected his mom. Why wouldn't you just tell your kid, hey, his mom was probably in on it because she's crazy.
Also, that's what got me too, is I'm looking at the mom and Shane and just going, really? You went with the basic level revenge? Oh, you're gonna kill them? Oh, wow. Her parents are gonna be sad until you kill their parents?
Your daddy wouldn't leave me. I was the other woman and your daddy wouldn't leave me, so I'm gonna kill you the way I would be stealing your wife. Like, I wouldn't kidnap your kid. I'm gonna kidnap your wife.
Not even just that. I was like, for one, even if he did leave the wife and kid, he would have had to pay child support. So at no point in time would the daughter have not had at least a semblance of a good life because her dad wouldn't be sending money.
How great was her life? Her parents kind of like
were not the best.
Great. Like not horrible.
But also the way if I was them, my revenge would be to let my son stay the star football person, go off to college, become an amazing person, and marry your daughter, and then us come in.
Like, that's the ultimate revenge.
Every holiday, like, oh, you didn't like me? Well, look what my son did without you. Look what my son did without your help.
Bagged your daughter.
Like, I feel like, I don't know.
Crazy people. That's the difference, though. You're not a sociopath.
No, I'm just petty.
I like, don't get me wrong, I kind of get it a little bit, like, because it is, like, the standard, oh, you wronged me, I'm gonna, like, ruin your life, and clearly you love your daughter, but, like, he didn't, like, leave his wife because of, like, just their kid, like, so, like, if you're gonna get the ultimate revenge, the kid isn't really the way to go about it. Kill the wife.
Or just
kill
him.
the kid.
Or just kill him. Torture and kill him.
Kill his grandparents, his wife, his children. Leave him completely isolated and alone. And when he's sitting in a house by himself, staring at the walls, wondering if he's being watched or not, because every last person who's close to him has died at your hands, that's when you stop.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
That's true revenge right there, because then he's going to be looking over his shoulder.
The rest of his life. Something falls in his house, he's going to be pulling out a gun to go search for it. It's just the cat.
Yeah. Because also he's never going to get close to another human being ever again.
Oh yeah, he'd be too scared of them dying.
So like, you're just going to kill the kid. Like, fucking basic. Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, but anyways, it was still really, really good.
It was so good.
I think my favorite part of the whole entire book was absolutely probably the ending, because what the fuck? I've been waiting 2 days to tell you.
The kid?
Yes. Because, like, the ending happens and she's tuffling with Margie, and accidentally shoots her, and then her son comes running up, and I was like, oh, what a coincidence that he was able to get away. And then I was like, and then they're like, oh, this accident, the snow just fell on him. And I was like, well, that can happen. That is feasible. And then they're like, he's like, when Tim told me to watch out for Shane Nelson, and then he showed up at my house, I didn't like the way he was talking to my mom. Lines. I'd do anything for my mom. Oh!
He's a little sociopath in the making.
Give me 10 years later. That's the story I want.
But also, I feel like, I wonder, too, if he would turn out different than Shane, because unlike Shane's mom, I don't think our main character would ever ask him to do something bad.
Well, see, but that's the thing, is Shane killed Tracy Guilford and then came to his mom, and that's when they hatched the plan to murder.
But I also don't think
so Shane was perfectly capable of offing someone beforehand, and remember, he was the trouble kid, and he's always getting in fights, and he beat the crap out of that one nerd to the point of sending him to the hospital, and then murdered that same guard later, by the way. So, like, Shane's clearly always been capable of murder, and clearly those genes have passed on, and the perfect sociopaths and psychopaths know how to mask, and they know how to mask young.
And he does, because he's a good kid. He gets
super smart, good grades, doesn't get in trouble, but just murdered someone because he didn't like the way they were talking to his mom. That's why you don't love your son too much. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know though, because also with me, if my son ever came to me and was like, "Mom, I killed somebody. What am I gonna do?" I'm gonna be like, "We're going to like jail."
Well, yeah,
I'm not. What do you mean? What we're gonna do?
but
I'm calling the cops.
His whole rationale for like not even telling his mom he did it is, you know, your mommy says you're only supposed to say sorry when you feel bad, and I don't feel bad about this.
I mean, though, at the same,
I didn't like the way he talked to my mom.
When you hear but also when you hear what Shane had said on that phone call, I don't know. As an adult, though, if I heard somebody talking that way about you on the phone call, I'd also kill him. I'd be like, how are you talking about?
Thank you.
I'm like, because he was hinting that he was going to murder and torture her. So I'd be like, oh, so you're going to murder and torture my friend? Oops.
I'll murder and torture you.
I guess some icicles just fell. Whoopsie daisy.
Oops. My bad. It's a Tuesday. Man, what's crazy to me is, like, this man is like, please, can we go to the farmhouse? Please, can we go to the farmhouse? Please, can we go to the farmhouse?
Fuck no.
No. Do you not understand? I just said, I nearly died there a decade ago. I have no desire to go back there. If you want to go back there, you got Lambo and Feedy, and you can walk yourself there.
Better yet, I have some money. Take a taxi. Here's all my cleaning supplies. Here's taxi money. You go. Have fun.
The way if I woke up in the middle of the night, thought I heard my garage, and then thought I saw tire prints in the snow.
The way I would check my car.
The way I walk downstairs. The way I would call 911 because I am a white woman in America. I'm a woman in America in general. The way I'd call 911. Hi, I just let a convicted felon who just got off come into my home. I just woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of my garage opening and closing, tire tracks in the yard, and I don't have a weapon to defend myself with.
And I think he just went and murdered somebody.
Right. The way I would be checking the news daily.
The way
How'd she leave her house and not check the news before she left? When it casually mentioned several times throughout the podcast,
he was making pancakes in the morning. She was like, I don't remember having pancakes. I made it from scratch. Oh.
Because I didn't have the ingredients for pancake mix, so I just totally have flour, bread, milk, eggs, all the stuff for pancake mix laying around. As consistently throughout the book as well, they've mentioned that she never has, like, food really. Like, her son's having to write cereal on the shopping list 3 separate times before she can remember to buy it. But somehow she's got the ingredients on hand for homemade pancakes.
No.
Sus as fuck.
But yeah, no, I would have gone, I would have checked that car, I would have seen the snow on the car, and the way I would have busted open that door and been like,
get out.
Get out.
Get out, get out, get out!
The way I would have grabbed a knife from my kitchen and then told him to get out, too, because I'm not walking to that bedroom empty-handed. Like, that motherfucker tried to choke me with a necklace 11 years ago.
Bro, I want to know what that necklace was made of, because never have I been able to pull on any necklace of mine, real or fake, and, like, not broken a chain. Like, that must have been a chain. They're like a gold chain with a snowflake hanging from it. So you picture this, like, dainty little thin chain. But there's realistically being like, I was choking. Before that chain could break, like, she's struggling for air. She's almost feeling like she's going to black out. She's feeling like she's going to pass out from this necklace being pulled on her. But then the chain snaps and she gets a lung full of air. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what is that chain made out of? Because they're saying gold necklace, silver, you know, little silver snowflake. I'm like, there's no way.
No way.
No, wait. Bro, I get a necklace tangled in my hair and I pull on my hair too hard, the chain snaps.
I know.
So what is her necklace actually made of?
Good question. I don't know. Oh, but there was just... See, and that's my thing. Like, even though there was some plot details where I was just like, how was this realistically possible? It was still just so captivating that I was like, whatever.
Oh, yeah, edge of my seat. The whole time. I had a hard time putting it down. I was reading it in the tub. I was reading it in my room. I was reading it in the car. I basically read it until I finished it, and I got it done in 2 days with all of the kids, you know. I
read it in 4, but I was also sick during those 4 days.
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
So I
have kids.
Taking breaks to go to sleep really early because I needed my sleep.
I probably should have slept because I definitely read it through the bulk of my cold, but it was the only thing that made me not realize that I was sick. So, like,
I still had
it so good to me.
I still had to go to work, dude, so I still needed my sleep.
I don't sleep. I have way too many children.
I know.
For sleep.
You do.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
fair.
The eternal nap. Rest, motherfuckers.
I do think it was pretty realistic, though, that Shane's mom, Pamela, the second she found out her son was dead, just automatically was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna confess.
No, absolutely.
Like, her whole will to live just completely obliterated.
Oh, yeah.
I do like how it hints that her and Tim end up back together after a few months.
I like that. I'm a little bit worried about what's gonna happen with little Joshy over there and him growing up. Because eventually he's gonna learn who his lineage is. You know, whether she means for him to or not. One day he's going to learn that, you know, Shane Nelson was his father,
and he murdered him.
And I would love to see a book when that happens. Josh is trying to kill his mom, but accidentally kills Tim instead or something.
No, I don't know if he would, because his mom's always been there, because as much as he's going to learn who Shane is, he's also going to learn what Shane did to his mom 11 years ago.
True.
And he's probably going to be like, I'm glad I killed that motherfucker.
Would she go to the lengths to hide if her son's a monster? That Pamela would go to her son?
I don't think so, because I don't think she's as crazy as Pamela is. There is something wrong with that Nelson family lineage, because Pamela was...
bro. That was something else.
Pamela was...
Your daddy wouldn't leave your mommy for me, so I'm gonna murder you.
You had the comfy life me and my son should have. Okay. Her dad cheated on her mom when Shane was 5, which means she was also 5, because they were the same age, which means she's already born, which means even if he had left his wife for Pamela Nelson...
Were you ready to be a stepmommy? Oh, God, it would have been a different book. Stepbrother.
Because that's the thing. I don't think he would have... He loved his daughter. He just didn't love his wife. Hence why he constantly cheated on her. But he would have still wanted rights to his daughter.
That's the thing. He's constantly cheating on his wife. It's nothing personal with you, boo. It wasn't just you he was probably being with. Do you not realize? Like, he was probably with every Sally in town.
So you're telling... Also, that's the thing is, he would have left his wife for you and then just cheated on you. Dude was a serial cheater. He couldn't
serial cheater and a serial killer. That's a good way to make sure you're always supporting your lover's passions. One loves to cheat, one loves to murder. They would have actually been a match made in heaven.
There you go. But I'm just saying, I don't know. She might have tried to kill all of his mistresses.
Yeah, but that's the point.
That's true.
That always feeds her murder needs, and he still cheats.
There you go.
Everybody wins.
But either way, even in that scenario, he still would have had access to his daughter. He still would have had to send child support. At no point in time was he going to be able to completely cut off supporting his child that's already born and
established. That ain't like a half-established one.
No. Like, she's acting like he would have left her mom and then just ghosted her as well.
I mean, that does happen.
It does, but I just meant by the way that they described the dad and how he
drove up. Cared about the daughter.
And how he drove up to Queens and was like, it's not what you think.
The plot
please
twist
don't.
that the parents were murdered.
Yeah. Like, the whole thing of them being like, please don't cut us out. Like, he cared about his daughter. So I think...
He just wanted to keep her safe.
From
his mistakes. Maybe you should have kept your dick in your pants.
No. Like, maybe if you hadn't been fucking the whole town, dude... You wouldn't have fucked crazy.
I want to know how hot her dad was.
I mean, it does say that she's attractive, so I'm assuming...
But, yeah.
But ugly and ugly can make a pretty baby.
I very realistically think that ugly and ugly normally always makes a beautiful baby.
That's true. But pretty and pretty can also make a gorgeous baby.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most babies are really cute. I mean, I've had one that was very Winston Churchill-like. But, you know... I mean, she is British, so, and she grew out of it, so.
It's fine.
They don't stay ugly when they come out a little funny looking.
No, but I meant, like, as she grew up, she stayed attractive. Some people do grow up and you're like, ooh.
Oh, yeah. She's even asked me, Mommy, was I a pretty baby? I'm like, you know, you grew up to be very pretty. But some babies just look like thumbs.
It's okay.
And you were a thumb baby.
You were a thumb baby. It's okay.
Anyways, I really enjoyed the way the author kind of was able to, like, give you breadcrumbs without just, like, spilling the whole story. You know, Shane's manipulative. He's a bad guy. Oh, these other people don't like him. And you can see the main character really wrestling with, like, a compassion.
That, but also how he acts with her. He doesn't act manipulative, which shows a true trait of somebody who is actually really good at being manipulative.
He reminded me of my mom in some ways, but, like, not like my mom exactly. Like, he just had some of those same traits that sound like my mom.
Like, he convinced her that everyone was wrong about him and that he was the true victim in it all.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was trying to warn her, like, he is dangerous, he is manipulative, you won't even know he's manipulating you, but he is manipulating you. And she's just like, whoop.
He's a sociopath.
Like, and then she's wrestling with the fact of, like, I put him in jail, and he doesn't seem to be mad.
Bangs him!
Gets out of jail, and she's like, well, at least you'll have time to...
I won't lie, I wish I would have gotten the dirty scene instead of just the, I ended up sleeping with him.
Right?
It would have been nice.
Also, I'm sorry, how do you go from being still like, okay, I know he's innocent, kind of, but, like, I still feel, like, anxious around him, to being like,
put it in. Yeah, no. What happened like that? I mean, unless they were drinking.
But they weren't. They were sitting on the bed.
Oh, and I'm sorry I sent you to prison. Yeah, I haven't been with a woman in 10 years, and you were the only woman I've been with so far, so give it up. Chop.
Also, he was like, I don't want to be with just anybody. I want there to be a connection. After 10 years, dude, I'm pretty sure you would go for about anything.
Oh, yeah. The way, if I had been locked up for 10 years and hadn't gotten a lick of diddly widdly whittle, I would be in the street with my pants off and a sign that's neon just going, right here. Right here. It's been 10 years. Come clear the cobwebs. What? I'd be throwing a parade. It's Mardi Gras for my legs. Don't flash me your boobies, flash me your weenies. And your vaginas, because, you know.
But you would have had a lot of those in prison, so, I mean.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So, like, yeah, your vagina, but, like, show me the wieners. All of them. All different shapes and sizes.
But yeah, the way, I don't get it. She feels so anxious being around him and all this. And I'm like...
As I pulled out of the driveway, I just had a feeling of dread. That's called intuition.
Like, or it's the fact...
So you would think somebody who had been in New York would have more intuition. The guy staring at you on the bus a little too long.
Also, it's the fact that, like, they do describe about how Shane and Tim back 11 years ago have completely different builds. And she instantly, when she's getting choked, recognized Shane's. And I'm like, and now you're thinking it's Tim? I'm like, they weren't the same enough body build for it to be a mix-up. They talked about how Tim was lanky and Shane was muscular because of football and how, like, there was a stark difference. So you're telling me, it'd be like if I was...
His sandalwood, very specific clone. You know, I do think the author did a really good way, though, in, like, little ways making you feel like Tim was manipulating the situation with the necklace, the cologne.
Which is why I was like, at some point, I could see that Tim was maybe in on it. But
I thought Tim and Shane did it together.
But at no point in time did I think it wasn't Shane. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like,
I thought Tim and Shane did it together, and that Tim set Shane up, and that Shane was trying to manipulate the situation to try to get...
revenge on Tim,
and then that Tim was going to got wind of it, basically, and was going to try to off the main character, and then that they both were going to go to jail, and then that Shane was going to get off, and then he was going to attempt to kill her to tie up all the loose ends or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that, like, somehow they were both going to end up in prison. She's going to end up off with her kid. I did not see his mom coming.
That is true. That was the one thing I did not see.
Because they said his mom died. You know, his mom passed away and left him the farmhouse and the inheritance. So I was like, she's dead.
She's not in on it. She's dead. Can't be.
I thought if anything, maybe like some, Dorothy, I think it was, from the hospital, was maybe in on it with Shane and was like his accomplice, you know?
Oh, yeah, because she gave bad vibes.
Yeah, because she just gave bad vibes, awful vibes and stuff.
She just seemed like a bitch from
and
the
like
get-go.
almost any time Shane had come to the infirmary, Brooke had an interaction with Dorothy.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, maybe, you know what I mean, they're trying to like manipulate the situation, get Shane out, and that he and Dorothy were like in love, and she was gonna help save him from all of this, and that really he was just manipulating the whole situation.
Yeah.
So that way he could get revenge on Tim for
turning on him. Oh yeah, no. At one point in time, I totally did think that they were both in on it, Tim and Shane. But at no point in time did I think Shane was ever.
And then I didn't suspect that the son would be capable of killing someone. He's so innocent. He's so happy. He's so youthful. All of these things, the way the mom.
He seemed like such a good, normal 10-year-old. But I feel like that's also when you realize that this book really did a good job about showing how it's from the perspective of the main character, right? And I feel like people on a whole tend to be a little biased about their kids.
Oh, yeah. And then even in that little epilogue bit where she's like, where he's doing his point of view and he's like when this happened last year, like this, you can tell that maybe some of the bullying he was going through wasn't because he was a bastard, but maybe because he's a freaking psychopathic murdering 10-year-old.
Also, I like how they gave her 3 fucking rules for that prison. Don't get too close to the inmates. Don't give away personal information. Yeah. Whatever the fucking third one was.
Don't wear heels.
Don't wear heels.
And she really is like, for one of her first lines, yeah, no, I'm not married. No, I have a kid.
How old
yeah, I just moved to town. Oh, he's 10.
Like, at first she's like, oh, he's 5. And then slips and says he's, like, last year when he was in 4th grade. Like, bitch. How hard is it not to talk about yourself?
The way I'd be like, I don't know. Are you married? I don't know. Do you have kids? I don't know.
Or the way they'd be like, are you married?
What do you do for fun? I don't know.
The way, I don't know. I feel like it's just because I work in health. The way that it would have happened, they would have been like, are you married? And I would be like, I'm sorry. Like, that is none of your business and does not entail anything that you need to know for me to fix you on up. So, no, I'm not going to answer that personal question. Moving along, how are your symptoms? How are you feeling? Why are you in my office?
When I was doing caregiving, the way they always had us is if they wanted to know, you just kind of like almost skip the question. That's what they wanted you to do.
Oh, mine is just
do you have kids? So, you really need to take this medication today, Mrs. Blah, blah, blah.
But sometimes they don't give up, and like if they keep asking the way, I just go, sorry, it's personal information that you don't need to know. So, why?
Yeah, no, I wasn't a very good caregiver. I'd be like, yeah, no, I have kids. It's kind of like how you weren't technically supposed to accept food from your clients. Have you ever had a grandma sit there and be like, listen, you need to eat more, you're never going to get a man. Oh, well, thank you. Listen, eat. We're not allowed to eat at work, or at least not, like, your guys' food. We can eat food we bring, but, like, we can't eat yours. I don't care. Eat it.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm great. I do get a couple of, occasionally where
if I came into your work, I'd share all your personal information with myself because I know all of it. I would just talk to myself.
I mean, I would still tell, if you asked me questions, I would tell you too. Like, there are, like, I'm not saying it's all the time, but like, if I'm working at a prison where it is like this person got, and it, not a prison, it's Riker. We all know that Riker.
That just sounds like a sexy prison.
Oh no, it's like, it's a real prison.
Oh.
Like, it's like an actual prison in New York that's like full of like really bad people. Like, if you ever watch SVU, they're like, yeah, you're going to Riker. You're going to go upstate to Riker for this.
SVU, but that did not stick. I mean, that just sounds like a sexy prison. So
like, in my mind, I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, so you're saying I work like in this prison with all these deadly people. The way I would be like, you don't even need to know my fucking name.
The way I was sitting here and I was like, damn, this sounds like a sexy prison. Oh, she's talking about how these guys look all cute and they're all freaking nice and stuff. I was like, this just sounds like, like Felon Daddy Land.
No, it's a real prison, sweetheart.
I grew up with trauma.
I don't know how that has to deal with the fact that you didn't know Riker was real.
I feel like it deals with the fact that I thought it was like a sexy daddy prison or something, you know what I mean? Like, oh, these are bad men, but, like, you know, men who would, like, burn the world down for you, you know, with, like, CEO, mafia boss, billionaire, murdering mercenary who just is doing a little bit of time in prison for, like, you know, bombing something or whatnot, and, like, he's gonna bust out of here as soon as he's ready to go, like, take care of his responsibilities again and, you know, ravish you. No. You know, and that Shane is just the one-off weird murdery guy who got sent there, you know what I mean? Like, Riker's the sexy daddy prison. This is the prison all the book felon daddies come from. No. You know.
I hate to burst your bubble, but no, it's just a prison full of usually pretty bad people.
Regular prison.
Yeah, it's just a regular prison.
That's not what I painted in my head while reading the book.
It's like a maximum security prison.
I painted a very different picture in my head of what this jail looks like.
Okay, so now imagine, now that you know, it's a maximum security prison. Okay? How much information are you telling these people when they ask you? They are in a maximum security.
That's...
I think apparently very sexy, because apparently Shane's really attractive.
He sounded so sexy to me in the book, you know. He's got these scars and stuff. And
oh, no, I think he
loves her a lot, and he's still really physically fit. In fact, he's more muscular now. I'm picturing a really sexy man.
No, I think he is supposed to be really sexy. Just, exactly. You know, also crazy.
I mean, all the best ones are.
Beg to differ. I don't like it when somebody tries to kill me. It's a very big turnoff, I'm not gonna lie.
In books or?
In real life. Everything's fine when it's fiction.
I mean, I can't really confirm or not confirm in real life.
Oh, honey. I'm over here like, okay. Real life, no. Books, it can be done right. Shane gave creepy vibes, though, from the get-go.
No, I really thought it was Tim for a minute there, up until, like, I even put down the book, I looked at Scott and said, I'm calling it right now. Shane didn't do it, Tim did it, and I can't wait for it, because I was like, Shane sounds so hot.
How mad were you when you realized that Shane had actually done it?
I was a little bit sad. I was so happy they were getting together and stuff. I was like, oh, this is so sweet. They're getting together. I love it. But there's still 10 chapters left. So that's a lot of wrap up for a book.
I was reading the part she was giving away her information, and I came in here to talk to Michael, and I was like, this motherfucking bitch just got told to not tell personal information, and what does she do with her first patient? Oh, yeah, no, I'm not married. Like,
no, I was fully sitting here. I was getting disappointed. He took her out to the farmhouse, and she's, like, getting the flashback of the memory, and she's like, oh, Tim and Shane did it together. I was like, oh, no. I'm reading with my sister on the phone, and I'm sitting here like, no. She's like, what? And I was like, they both did it. A couple more minutes go by, and I was like, no, Tim didn't do it. It was just Shane with his mom.
I feel like we both have different reactions to books, because, like, that was yours, and I was reading that part, and I was like, oh, with his mom. I mean, yeah, he did it, but, like, oh, his mom, that's
oh,
new.
No, I was sitting here, My sister's like, listen, I'm trying to read to go to bed. It's 2 hours later here for me than you. And I'm like, I don't care. His mommy made him do it.
I just like how you were so focused on that, and I was focused on how she, at every point in the road, was doing the exact opposite of everything everybody told her to fucking do. They were like, don't give out your information. Don't get too close to Shane. He's manipulative. And every step of the way, that is what she is doing. And I'm just reading this. I'm like, dumb bitch. Oh, fucking dumb bitch. Oh, Why are you being a dumb bitch?
I related to her so much. I related to her story, but I was like, look, she's just trying to find compassion. I was like, look at her seeing the best and the worst people on earth. I was like, me too, girl. Me too. She's saying here, like, maybe he didn't do. I was like, you know what? Our memories can be wrong when we're going through intense trauma. That was a hard night, and you were keeping your cool for a good portion of it. It makes sense towards the end. Maybe you'd be confused. You know, we all think things happen that didn't happen sometimes. I was like, she's like, Shane's like, stay away from Tim, and I'm sitting here. I was like, oh, Shane's right. Look, I mean, look, he brought you that necklace. He's wearing the sandalwood.
You know, for me, I was like, I could totally get her compassion, and I totally respected her for how she felt about actually giving the inmates proper care and like getting that one patient the bed that he needed for his sore. Like,
oh no, I was waiting for her and Shane to do it in the infirmary.
And like for me, I was like, okay, good. Like she's actually a good healthcare worker, and she actually cares about her patients. And like for me, like that kind of level of compassion, I was like, that is definitely needed, and I'm really glad that that's being represented. What I didn't get was I was like, but there's being compassionate, and then there's deluding yourself into being like,
okay, well, I learned some things about myself while reading this book. Like, maybe I'm a little delusional in the way I make friendships, because I was fully thinking Shane, like, everyone else was manipulative. Shane was in the clear.
I don't know.
He's a good guy. Like, I was generally surprised, because I was just sitting there like, oh, he's
maybe it's the skeptic in me, but if somebody is if at every single point in time I am being made to believe that you're not the manipulator, it's everybody else, and you're the victim, my brain immediately just goes, no, it's you. If at every point in time, like, if you're, like, in real life, if I meet someone and they're like, it's not me, it's been everybody else, all my relationships have been bad because everyone I've ever been with is crazy, I'm like, it's you. Because you're the common denominator.
I mean, I always believe I'm the problem.
Because, like, in my mind, if you're the only common denominator on why, like,
I thought maybe he had helped. Maybe he killed Brandon, and then that maybe Tim killed everyone else.
Yeah, no, I just feel like...
Or they were in cahoots together.
If the common denominator always equals back to you, my brain immediately goes, you're the problem. Because you're the common link.
But that's why I ended up thinking that she did it. Because, you know, she was there that night, too. No one had pointed fingers at her. She was the one who was like, it was dark, I couldn't see, I was unsure, and then like with the back and forth, I thought things we were going to get. That would have been
a better twist, I feel like, if like this whole time it ends up, and then you twist, and eventually like she admits it like to you as the reader. Yeah, I thought that's what they were building
it too, because like you have to, like the way I was seeing some of it is like she was talking about how like that night was like her first time drinking, and how she woke up a few hours later.
Or maybe she was just actually crazy. Like
you know, and like what if she was having like actual like episodes where she was phasing out, because like all of these events that happened, there were moments she was alone too.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And she kept being like, oh, I feel like I have this memory like itching me in the back of my brain. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting about that night. And what if the thing she's forgetting is that she's the murderer?
Nah, she's just forgetting that she heard her friend screaming as she died. I think I'd also too would block out that noise. I would think I would try and forget that memory as well. So I kind of was like, okay, I get that.
Then again, I also don't think I would have ever left that fucking bedroom. At least not out the door.
No!
The way I would be, like, there's no weapons, there's nothing in here. The way I would be pushing anything heavy against that door, threading those sheets and blankies and shirts and jackets together.
Also, and
getting myself up on, like, the roof until morning.
The way, also, that they, like, both boys were like, no, you guys can't leave because it's planned. That's why I was always like, they did it together. Because the way I'd be walking out there with you, I wouldn't even give a crap. You're sobbing, you're crying, it's cold, you might get electrocuted. Guess what? You're probably gonna die anyways here. Get on your feet, let's go. The way, I mean,
you can cry while we walk.
The way I look at you and be like, if we're dying together, and I guess it's gonna be by electrocution. We're walking. The way I would have joined the other chick too. All three of us are walking together.
The way I would literally rather get hit by a car in a storm than stay in that house and risk getting murdered.
Right? Especially after Kayla got murdered too. Because when it was just Brandon, I could kind of thought it might have been just a drifter, that they were like, what the fuck happened here? And they convinced, but then the second Kayla got murdered, the way I would have looked at my best friend and been like, we're walking.
We're gone.
We're gone.
See you later, let's go.
We're leaving. Like, I'm leaving right this second.
I don't care if I get electrocuted. I don't care if I break my leg. I will drag it behind me.
I will crawl. I will scoot. I will.
You're about to see just how far a bitch will go.
And then the
For a
way.
Klondike bar. No.
No. And then the way if I did end up in that bedroom, she fully convinced herself it was her best friend who was the murderer. And I think this is where I become the problem, because I would have looked at them and been like, so did you do it? Like, everything's pointing to you. Like, did you murder them?
Like it's possible. Like I wouldn't be sitting here freaking out. Oh, she might murder me. No, this is your homie. I'd be like, listen, if you did it, I just need to know, because like there's two motherfuckers down there that are still fucking alive.
And we gotta get our story straight.
And like, we don't have a weapon up here, but we need to take those fuckers out. This dresser, it's wood. You know, his closet, it's got one of those pulls across the top. Let's just take one of those, snap it in fucking half. We go down together. We take them out at the same time. And then you stab you or me, and I stab you. And in the like, we call 911. And we say we came to, and everyone was fucking dead.
Yeah.
And we were in bed together.
Yeah.
You know, whole alibi.
Like, the way I'd
have a story. A drifter came in, attacked everyone. We played dead.
Or like the way I'd be like, and she was like, no, I'm not doing the way I'd be like, okay, well, we're shoving everything up against that fucking door. Help me tie these sheets together. We're going out the fucking window.
And we're taking off into the woods.
They're not finding us.
We're going to find a bear.
Because you gotta think, she opened the door, and that's how the mom was able to get in to kill her friend. Because they had searched that room, nobody was in there, right? And Shane was locked out. So the way I would be pushing everything up, the way I would be like so apologetic to Tim, like, so sorry, dude, you're dead. But me and you, out the fucking window through the woods. The way that they're gonna have to hack that door down just to figure out that we fucking left.
Exactly.
Also, the way I would, like, first try to decide, like, should we climb up on the roof and throw the thing down and let them leave, and so we can see who did it? Because they're going to be more worried about the fact that we're gone. They might not even try and find the roof. So the way I would hunker down...
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I would climb up to the roof and hide out. Drop that ladder down. They're going to...
But also, the second I see them leave, I'm going to count to, like, 10, 20 minutes, and then I might climb down and go the other direction.
Oh, yeah.
The way... And I'm going to have my phone on me, because the second I get service, I'm calling 911 and being like, this is what I just saw. Me and my best friend are running down the fucking road. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just me, because, like, I would ride or die for my bestie. Like, you murdered them, we're finishing them off together.
If you killed them, I'm helping you kill them.
But if
I'm helping you hide the bodies.
But if you didn't kill them...
If you didn't kill them, we got to make a plan. We got to get out of here.
Like, we got to figure this shit out together.
How the hell is that your best friend and you turn on them so quick? Like, talk about it be a switch up. That's why I thought she was the murderer for a minute there. How the hell are you going to point fingers at your best friend and not be like, hey, listen, bitch, I'm not even mad if you did it. I just want to know that you did.
Also,
because, like, we have a hide a body pack.
The way I'd be like, I'm not even mad. Like, that dude's been cheating on you forever. Like, he was a piece of shit. Like,
yeah,
so, like, I mean...
He kind of fucking sucked. I'm just wondering why you killed Kayla. You know, I'm just wondering why we couldn't plan this better. If you were going to kill people tonight, you probably should not have let me invite Tim. Because then we wouldn't have had to Kayla. And then all we would have had to do is take out Shane and Brandon. That would have been way easier.
Yeah, the way you're like, why didn't you let me in on this fucking plan?
Like, do you know how hard it was? Originally, it was supposed to be you, me, our boyfriends. That's it, 4 people. I invited Tim because you didn't tell me you were murdering people tonight. Now we got to murder Tim and Kayla and Shane and Brandon. That is 4 whole people.
2 would have been...
I'm tired. It's storming out. I don't want to have to drag 4 bodies out of here. That's just insensitive.
Also, if you had come to me, we could have come up with a better plan. Like, the drifter plan. Like, we both stab each other.
Exactly.
Like, I am
nothing but able to provide you with solutions.
Like, I will ride or die with you, bestie. Because if you're going to jail, we're going to jail together.
Exactly.
I can't visit you behind bars.
No. I would only be able to hang out with you if we could, like, hang out together in prison.
Yeah.
Like, we could go to the library together there. They have a library in prison.
Yeah.
I'd be very comfortable. 3 meals a day, a library, education opportunities. And yeah, sure, I'm going to get my ass kicked all the time because I'm 5'2" and look like somebody you want to beat up. But, like, I have just enough trauma. I'm probably into it.
Also, for me,
And you gotta kick your ass, because they'll enjoy kicking mine.
Well, not even just that. You gotta think this is back when we're 17. So, also, we were depressed teenagers. So the fact that
oh god, I think
like,
back to 17-year-old me. Someone would probably try to kick me out of prison. I'd be like, do it, do it.
17-year-old me would be looking at my best friend going, I can't live a life without you. So like, did you kill them? And if we did, how are we getting out of this? And if you didn't kill them, how? And if you didn't kill them, how are we getting out of this? Like, are we dying together? Like, are we gonna like suicide pact together? Like, do we think we're not gonna survive this? Are we trying to survive this?
If I was trapped in the house with a murder, additionally, if I was trapped in the house with a murderer and I knew I didn't have a way to get out, and I knew they were probably going to kill me in some brutal way, the way I would take the joy from them and do it myself. Oh, you want to kill me? I just threw myself down this flight of stairs. Oh, you want to kill me? I'm throwing myself off the roof. I'm hanging myself from your closet. You're going to find my body and be nothing but disappointed. Here's the release you so desperately wanted, and I just robbed you of it.
But the way I also have to include my bestie. Like, how are we, like, what are we doing? Are we climbing to the roof and throwing a rope ladder down, hoping that they... Because also, at the end of the day, like, that would be my plan. Like, we're going to climb to the roof, throw the rope ladder down, and if they believe it, then when they leave, we leave. If they don't believe it and they come climb up to the roof, we throw ourselves off. Yeah. And they're going to watch me yeet myself off their roof. Like,
head first, too. We're going down.
Because that's two plans in one. That's now you have a perfect backup plan.
Always have a contingency plan.
There you go. See,
really good book. I really enjoyed it. I think with things like this, they're always a little bit ridiculous because it is book world versus real world, and that's the biggest thing you have to remind yourself is that divide is, of course, some of these very obvious answers of, like, of course, if they had done this or this
yeah, it wouldn't be a book.
You know, it wouldn't be a book, and part of what made it so good is that the main character was, as I like to think, just very compassionate and wanting to see the best in everyone, and Shane really didn't seem that bad.
I just love to think about books sometimes as I'm reading them as if I was put in this situation, like, how would I handle it?
Oh, yeah. I think that...
And that's also, like, what kept me so intrigued with this book is that every single time she made a move where I was just like, why? I was like, it's a book. But I was also just sitting there just going...
My least favorite part, I think, about it was that the main character, even with Tim, was like, I don't really have feelings with him, but because he wants to give me attention, I guess I do love him. And it's just like, that's not real love.
No.
She didn't. I don't feel like she ever even really necessarily is even in love with Tim. I think because she's known Tim her whole entire life, and he is so familiar, and she is so starved for connection and attention and the sense of family that she's settling for Tim. I don't think it's some hot and steamy romance.
I really wish, like, for her and Tim, that connection was made more there, because they have been apart for the 10 years or 11 years, you know?
But she almost is even like, oh, wow, he's really hot. Doesn't mean I have feelings for him. But I guess I'll let him kiss me. Oh, Tim just said he loved me. I don't really know if I love him, but you know what? I know he'll be heartbroken if I don't say it back to him, so I love you. And then she's like, I'm in love with being in love. I'm in love with being loved.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, even you a little bit cray-cray. You're gonna,
You're gonna, like, settle because she was also like, what guy is gonna be this great with my son? Like, what other guy but Tim is gonna be, like, so accepting of a single mom with a 10-year-old?
And she acts like she, like one kid, super young, is just, like, makes you so undateable. Like, she's... Yeah. And it's really weird, which is what makes me think that, like, later down the road, if her son was to go off and be a murderer, she would probably cover it for him because she would not want to lose the love of her son. Because he did something awful. Yeah.
But I feel like she'd also be so conflicted because of the compassion she has as a person that I feel like she would always, like, try to be, like, as much as she would try and cover it, I feel like she'd also try to,
yeah, she'd be the type that her son murders someone, but then somehow they start getting a mystery $5,000 a month in their bank account.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's how she would do it. And then eventually she'd get caught, and then...
She would take the blame. I think she'd go to prison for her son.
Oh, okay, that was another point. Was when the Kelly person went missing... She was literally like, I can't remember if I was with Tim 2 days ago. Like, you're telling me you love this man, but you can't even remember if you were together 2 days ago?
Right.
Like, the way I would have known that I was with him 2 days ago, so when I found that body in the basement, the way I would be going up and like, dude, Kelly's in your basement? I know I was with you the day she went missing? What the fuck? Like, somebody's framing you.
Right.
Because, like, that was also my thing. Because the whole reason why I thought it was Tim was because she couldn't even remember if she was with him.
Right. How would you not know that, though?
And, like, even the mom, like, even Pamela Nelson in the end admits that she purposely did it on the idea that she knew Tim was with her. So, like, in my mind, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, if that was me, I'm going to know I was with him. So then I'm going to come up those stairs and be like, dude, we gotta move this body right now because I feel like somebody's framing you and the cops are going to show up real fucking soon, and we gotta get this body out of your fucking house so when they come in we can be like, yeah, you can search and then we'll figure out what the fuck we're gonna do about this, but somebody is framing you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, so either way, I'm apparently that person that's gonna come up to you and be like, so you got a body?
You know what
the I'm like, what the fuck are we doing about this shit?
The way it was a good book. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot more than the first book.
I did like it a lot more than the first book. I also did like that it was smaller. Like, I liked that. I feel like it never dragged on. I liked how
it was quick paced.
It was quick paced. It kept you entertained the whole time. I liked how it wrapped up when it needed to wrap up. Like, it didn't
the details were, like, sufficient enough that you felt like you could picture it, but that, like, you weren't bombarded with details. I did think it was funny that they described the town as, like, your typical American town with trees on every corner.
That was a little bit funny, but I liked how it didn't seem to try to drag on just to make the book longer. Like, yeah. It very much felt like
told the story and it got out.
Yeah, it very much felt like the author went in with like a kind of outlined in mind of what they wanted and just made that.
Sure to hit those key points.
And then was like finessed it a bit and was like, all right.
It's like bacon. Yeah. They baked this book. You know, got all their ingredients together, put it all together, one and done it.
Yeah.
You know, very good.
I would read more of her books.
I would read more of her books. I would honestly read if there was a sequel to this one that was like 10 years later. Oh, yeah. I would devour it instantly. I'm also still really happy with the fact that it was a one and done. Not every book needs to be a series, and if it was never a series, I'm fine with that. But if it became one, I would read another one, and I would read more by this author for sure.
Yeah, me too.
So, I fully recommend it. I definitely think it's a book that, I mean, maybe not everybody should read, but if you're into, like, thriller and crime and, you know, suspense, this is definitely right up that
alley.
Way. Yeah. I think it does really well.
Okay.
And let's pause for a second. Okay. Our next book is going to be Phantasma by Kaylee Smith.
So tune in to our next episode when we will be talking about this book.